just whatever you're saying in one or the other.
It's cool. But no.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I know, we're not doing that. That's too much.
What if I told you you can live forever?
All right, what's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Menisms. I'm here with some very, very special guests.
Yep.
Apart from, obviously, my co-host, Mr. Murewa here. But we have some other special guests. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves first.
Efa, go first.
My name is Efa. I'm an actor.
I think they all know that. Right?
My name is Dare. I make movies.
You make magic.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, we got some special guests. Again, this is Menisms, where we're all about honesty and being yourself. We don't care about your careers here. When you come here, we care about your honest truth. So, before we start, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. And then, real quick, before we go into question, I just want to get a quick story time off. See, I was going to save this. I was going to say you earlier, but it's funny. So, I knew about this guy before he was an actor. You were a musician before.
Yeah, rap day.
Now, let me bust your head. Let me bust your head. Now, when I moved to Nigeria, like I said, everybody would plug me with new music at like 17. To like, oh, listen to this guy. So I used to play American football. So most people I would listen to my Yankee music like Lil Jon and all that. But there were certain Nigerian songs I needed to just wake me up. This guy had a song called Open and Close with Damn Craig. What? Like people will see me on the field and I'll just be like this moving on the field. They'll be saying, and I'll have great games. Everybody, what's wrong with you? The baby girl, no, it's okay. I'm like, oh my, who is this guy? And I'm not knowing years later, you are not the actor.
I know. Crazy times.
Wow, man.
It was fun.
And we just spoke about small world in Lagos. Lagos is small recently.
Our last episode was about how Lagos is now small.
It's small. And look at that. It's always been small. We're just really not catching up to it.
But real quick, before we start, we always start off with questions from our guests and our subscribers. So they ask a question, we read it off, and we usually answer the question.
So you guys will share your opinions on what they
want to hear your opinions on this. So, Murewa.
All right. So this person says... so what do you suggest? What do you guys suggest about getting romantic with coworkers? Because there's this girl. I dropped the full story. If you attend up to this point, I can wait a week. Thanks for the bold step to start this podcast. I hope to jump on mine as soon as possible. Sorry, it's quite long too. Okay, so now basically what the person is trying to find out is what our opinions are on dating coworkers, which is quite coincidental because today's topic is actually relationships with coworkers.
So shout out to you because our episode is now what you ask. So shout out to you. You're going to get your full answer.
We know you might not want to share, but you will be honest. So, sorry to Chidima in advance, whoever Chidima is, right? So today's topic really is relationships with coworkers and relationships with vendors, clients. Yes. Sorry. Throw that in. Yes. So I'm selling you products. I will sleep with you after.
For all of our viewers that are non-Nigerian, sorry, because that vendor word is such a Nigerian word.
I know it is like
right. Vendor,
so,
but
yeah. So
can you describe what a vendor is?
I would say. Well, what's the other word I could use now? I would say
partners.
Business transactions, suppliers and consumers. Thank you very much, Magic Maker. Suppliers and consumers. Should that be forbidden? Is that okay? We want to know what's all about. So I think we can start off with. Have you ever? You can share some experiences. It doesn't have to be now. It could be years back. It could be something you plan in the future. Right?
I feel like you can find love anywhere.
Okay.
It could be at work. It could be at a party. It could be in space if you're an astronaut.
Fair enough.
But I think long term it probably won't work well. So I feel like you can meet your love interest there. Mm-hmm. You guys can start your shenanigans for a bit, but eventually, a couple months down the line, one of you will have to move on.
Why do you think so? Expansion. So
because it was so. Imagine if I was dating, let's even say a director, or something, and we had like a spat at home.
Okay.
It will cross over into
work.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's cool to meet your partner there, and it's all lovely and great. But I feel like 6 months down the line, your partner might say something at home that might upset you. You get to set, you see that thing again, you might yell. Everyone looks at you funny. You have like a position of power. I mean, or let's say
the dynamics will suddenly change.
Yeah, or let's say your girlfriend is an actress and you're a director, or vice versa. And then on set, how I normally yell at someone, "Hey, do this thing," but because she's your girlfriend, you're like, "Hey."
I beg now.
It starts to, the lines get blurry. So I feel you can meet your partner there, but long term, try to.
Because it's funny you're saying this because I want to hear both of yours.
Yeah, I want to hear what Dare has
because you're
to
an actor, you're a director. So what about you? What's your thought
I
on it?
probably think mine's is a bit more varied.
Okay.
I think it's more like a belt distribution curve.
Okay.
Like in most instances, it's not going to end up well. But there's tons of people who have had great professional careers.
Yes.
I know Christopher Nolan and his wife work together.
Exactly.
Yes. I can separate like work and these things, but most likely it's not gonna work for you. It's not gonna work for you. But you can usually tell like serious people. I don't know.
Okay. So I have a question, right? So I mean, Efa's mentioned a few things, and so you mentioned a lot about like the work dynamics, clashing it with the home dynamics, right?
Yeah.
So are we saying that no matter what, the whole idea behind attempting a work relationship, so to say, would always be, even if it's people who know how to, because there are people who know how to separate work from personal life, literally, right? Even though that can be an annoying trait, but they do know how to separate it. Would you say then that would be the one thing they need to cross that hurdle?
It's one of the important things, I'll say. Yeah.
One of the important things, right?
But it's hard. It's
Honesty, and ability to like tangle stuff, because it's easy to carry emotions from one thing to another thing. Okay. But if you have the ability to differentiate, like someone fucked up at work, doesn't mean you're mad at them at home.
At home, yeah. Sense. Okay.
So it's like with what you guys are saying, it's funny because I'm sure we're all in different industries. So it's like what you guys have said now, especially in a place like Lagos. I like always talking about Lagos because obviously there's context. Lagos. Yeah. It's like, at first, I thought it would be very easy to mix the two. At first, I was naive. I'll be honest.
No, it's fine.
Because
it's like, have my experience.
Because in the end, it's like, oh, everybody's always interconnected, so it's okay. Then you realize it's like, nah. Because for me, my work is my passion. I'm sure you guys can relate to it's your passion. Yeah. So when it comes to my passion or mainly my money, I don't like anything messing those two up. Okay. And I've gone through that route, like you guys said, like I've tried the waters dating women in my profession and it starts to affect the money. Has that ever happened to you guys where you've dated somebody in your industry that the effects of dating them or the effects of seeing somebody in your industry has affected your money? Or even your productivity? Because let's
that's
a key word.
Your productivity.
I
think that's the one.
So I think for me, the mind-boggling thing is I know that I will find it very hard to separate the two, home from work. Okay. So, for example,
because that's you.
Yeah, that's how I am. Yeah. So imagine if I was dating a director, and then that's my woman, and she wants to hire me for a movie, and Dare wants to hire me for a movie around the same time.
And maybe Dare's offer is a lot juicier.
And Dare is offering me twice the money. Dare's script
is twice richer, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
twice
better.
As richer, yeah.
It presents a bigger opportunity for me. Okay. Do I tell my wife no?
This is a very solid scenario.
But why not? But why not? But why can't you? Because in the end, business is all about the money.
So if I tell her no, which is like maybe it's her dream project, her pet project, it's a personal thing for her. She will start to feel like her boyfriend or husband has betrayed her.
Can't even come through for her actually, because she has like 1+ act already.
Because that's my question. Because I still want to hear your answer. Just to answer your question, because you guys saying that now, in the end, even in a relationship, you guys are going to have certain understanding. So in the end, as she's a director, she's also going to understand the business of it.
Exactly. And
as your husband, are you not the provider? Are you not the provider too? So it's like, as much as you want to do this passion project, this can change our life. Like, babe, if I get this role, give me more money. What about that?
No, but what if she now believes, because when you're in the middle, you're not being objective anymore. You're being subjective. So she, in her heart, believes that her project will do more for you.
I feel like the answer of this question is that it's at the end of the day, it's going to depend on the person. It's just that if you're with someone they're working with, you're going to have more reasons to clash. Because at the end of this, if you're working with someone that's level-headed, it's going to be, all right, we need to do this to get money. Yeah. But I guess if you don't work with the son who's not level-headed, you're not going to fight about work stuff. You're only fighting about things in the house. Do you get what I mean?
Okay. So I think for me,
does that make any sense?
To make this even sound rich, I want to know your personal experience. Have you guys actually had instances? We don't need names, right?
Yeah. We don't do names on podcasts. We don't do names.
Well, we just need to know instances like okay. You know what? Let me start by giving an example.
In fact, you know what? To make them comfortable, let's share out. I'll share
exactly.
Yeah, so for me, I do parties, I do events, nightlife. So, of course, I'm surrounded by a lot of women, and I've been doing this for years in Lagos. Now, my first few years, I was in a relationship doing this. So, to be honest, I was not on streets. Like, because I knew my girlfriend, even though it was long distance, as much as people say, yeah, in Lagos, like, I was there. But now that I've been single, like, I meet more women because I'm single. So, subconsciously, like, I'm more open to talking to women.
Yeah.
And I work with a lot of girls because even doing content and all that, you meet beautiful girls. My parties, I meet beautiful girls, but I know sometimes I always say, think of the money. Now, I had one case where one time I said, you know what, this could work out. Now, mind you, me and the girl do business together. We make money together and all that, but it's like, okay, we said we'll try it and all that. Yeah. Then, at one point, we got in a fight because of a misunderstanding, because of another girl. Mind you, this girl now I'm not dating. We're just talking and seeing, but we've had an understanding. But because of another girl now, a fight has started. And where that fight started, it almost affected my money because I'm in entertainment. But it's like, okay, with that now, from there I learned that lesson, like, okay, no matter how comfortable I am with a woman, or once we're in a business in terms of money is being exchanged, I'm never doing it. So that's why I asked you guys, have you guys been, especially being actors, because you're going to meet, like, I can't lie, there's some actresses I've seen in Hollywood that I'm like, if I catch this woman. But at the same time, I'm like, wait, low-key, I'm about to go and meet this woman to do content. Like, actually, now that I'm doing content, damn, I have to ask her for work, but it's like, oh, well, she gives me a chance, let me just get to know you, like, so where do I set that boundary? So as I say, have you guys been through that already?
Yeah. So I think that's so. Okay, you know what? Let me just share mine. So So I'm an architect. I'm a designer. I make clothes as well, and I obviously do podcast content now. But I think the clothing bit of it is the one that really puts me out there. So I work with a lot of stylists.
Hey, what's it called? What's your
Novo Vintage.
Plug yourself.
It's called Novo Vintage. It's all called Novo Vintage. So I work with a lot of stylists. I work with a lot of female clients, right? So there are so many times when, you know, I have, because more times than not, we have more female stylists than male in the Lagos context, right? So there was the one time where I worked with a stylist, and of course, after building the work relationship over time, yes, it did end up getting really messy, but I'll get there. So after building the work relationship over time, I guess there was this synergy where, you know, there's sometimes where you want to do your work meeting over like a casual lunch. And then the casual lunch now turns out to be, oh, we have a lot more in common than we think.
Exactly.
And then it turns to, okay, you know, maybe we should do this again. Then you start doing more lunch meetings than actual office meetings. And then it turns to, okay, you know what, let it be lunch but no meeting, you know. And then, you know. And then from there, you know, it starts off as, you know, that. And then I guess where we started to have a very big problem was when I was working with other stylists who, now there's the projection part of it, right? Now I'm working with other stylists who are also just as attractive, maybe even sometimes more attractive, right? And automatically she's thinking, because she's already now putting herself in the same shoes that she was in before, which is that you started the same way, work with the stylist, you guys have good synergy, and everything. And then next thing it turned to, oh, so what? So is this how it is for every stylist? Hey, hold on a second, like, clearly, like, we have an understanding, and that's why. And then we started having issues, and then it started turning into, I would have big possible offers that were supposed to be coming through her. And then she's like, yeah, you know what, it's fine. If you're too busy, I'll give you somebody else. What do you mean? What do you mean? I've literally put everything I'm ready for on this so that I can push forward for this project. And then you're telling me, okay, you know what, you seem busy. Now, you seem busy is, maybe you've seen me trying to close a transaction with somebody else. Now it looks like, oh, okay, well, clearly you have so much to do. You have a lot on your table, you know, and I mean, it seems like I'm always having to call you before I can even hear from you.
You see that Lagos women talk like this? Because a girl did that to me with a proposal years ago. The way you just...
I can't answer that question because then it will seem like I know how Lagos women talk. And no that's comment. A problem. Yes. So I think that gives more context. So
you guys know...
I want to hear...
I don't think I've gotten those kind of problems. I listen to you guys, I'm like...
So as a director... Look,
he seems like someone who right from the jump. He's like, see, hold on.
No, because the way you speak... Obviously, we're still getting to know it, but the way you speak, I think you're very direct. So as a director now... Because obviously, you're two different roles. You're an actor, you're a director. As a director, do women come for roles like...
No, really.
No, so what you guys...
I guess...
What you guys do is Dare is very...
Walk.
No, he's very
play.
out of the box. Like if you don't know him, you won't like him. Like if you don't get to know him, you won't like
Okay,
him.
I see that.
Yeah,
I see that.
yeah. So this is a strange problem.
So wait, so you mean in your
strange problem.
in your like what you said like 5-6 years of working in the industry, you've never had anyone. So okay, but has anyone ever like maybe pressured you into? Never.
Really? I'm very hard. Like it's very hard to make me do things I don't want to do.
You don't want to do. Okay.
But that's happened before.
But do people hate you for that?
I've had like no. Why would you hate someone that's pretty straightforward?
Oh yeah,
I've had interactions with people relationship wise. I was into work, but this is like film school. But it made my work better because I guess it was people that like had the same.
Like-minded.
Okay.
Right.
And then we're fighting about someone else. And I feel like it's really about the person. I feel like it's really about the person, as in almost everything. To be fair.
Right. So you've never really just had a standalone.
Yeah.
I had this. Okay.
Yeah, because usually I'm like, if you can see, like these people, I'm sure you could see these signs before.
Let me tell you. No, let me tell you, man. I say this every time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nigerian men deserve Nigerian women. Just simple and short. We see the signs. They let us know. We can see that this might be so messy, but we too were like, you know what? It also might not.
But some of them know how to mask it well. That's the thing.
They do.
Because
but see,
in the end, men have gotten this negative stigma for so many years that we actually forget women have their own negative stigma, but we don't talk about it. And we're the ones who suffer
it. But you know what? This is a different topic. Let's not get it.
What about you?
How about you?
Mine was many years ago. I was just starting out in
acting.
Film industry. Yeah, film industry. And something romantic was. I mean, we were both in the business, but it wasn't. It had nothing to do with the business, but I was quick enough. Not like we did or anything, but I was quick enough to figure out that if things continued and things didn't go very well,
it was gonna fuck your shit up.
Yeah, long term.
For lack of a better
But long term, because it's you have to realize that it will be weird when you get on like a project in 4 years and there's bad blood between you.
Yes, I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, and this person has to play like your love interest.
Oh, then this person's friends are now fighting because like you don't need all this kind of work.
See this one.
You don't need those kind of work.
I'm so glad you just said that.
This is the one.
Allies. They have allies.
Yes, this is the one because I think that's even worse off than the direct one because they're only going by whatever the story their friend has told them. So if the friend has told them, you see that guy is a full bastard. He treated me bad from start to finish. Meanwhile, that's not the case. But that's the story they're running with, right? And now you have to battle the person that's bringing you opportunities. It'll be very unfortunate for you if her friends are also in the industry because now you're finished.
Because if you're fighting like a personal person, it's a personal life friends that don't like you.
Exactly. Not
if you find a work person.
That's the worst.
Then everyone in the industry is now hating you because of
yes, exactly.
So even with that now, that's what I was gonna ask because as an actor now, obviously, let's give an example. The one thing I saw you in was Men's Club.
Yeah.
And we saw how that was. You guys were interacting with a lot of women.
A lot of women.
When I was watching that show, I said I was jealous. I couldn't do it.
A lot of women. I even had
because I'll be affected because I was like camera now. I was like, hey, what are you doing after? Let's just share a moment. So how do you guys?
How do you manage that?
Like, how do you manage or separate that?
So the thing is, when you've done this for a couple of years and you do it every day, it's work.
It's more work than pleasure.
Because sometimes when you think of movie, you think, they just shoot in a day or so. So that one time.
It was funny how everyone, the amazing actress Bukola who plays Tiara.
Yes.
Everyone thinks that like in real life we're dating.
I mean, you guys had so much good energy.
We're actually like homeboys in real life, like touts.
Right.
Like, so
your guy, basically.
Like, the guy say, if I have a flat tire, what rubbish? No, but it's
your guy,
but I feel like because we're so comfortable with each other off camera, it's
you can
so
fall
easy.
Into because like pretend
we trust each other because we're like, okay, we know that we have each other's backs here. So it's easier.
And that makes your work relationship easier.
You know what I'm saying? Because we both know that look, anything else, you're playing with fire here. So a lot of actors and actresses that you see that have great chemistry, most times like 98% of the time is because there's nothing going on there. I feel like if I had something with an actress, it would be so weird.
Really?
It will be so weird.
Okay, you know what? Play us a scenario. I want to see what you'll be thinking. Play us a scenario of you.
So for example,
because I'm sure you've thought about it. Yeah.
So let's say I'm dating this actress called.
You can give us the one
Drop
you actually have your eye on.
It doesn't have
Juliana.
Okay.
And let's say at home, I'm a nice guy, I'm cool, we kiss slowly, I look into her eyes, I read her poems, and then I'm playing this drug baron,
aggressive sexual
white
person.
beater.
Right. Which is a role.
Yeah, it's a
nonetheless.
role.
Yeah.
And then we get on set. I'm going to grab Juliana's neck and squeeze it out. So it's a mind thing.
Yeah.
But if Juliana was my homegirl, one babe that we just once. Hey,
About grip.
I go grip.
Yeah, so
I go grip.
she knows that the grab.
Because you want to tell you, babe, this is just a scene.
You know-
I'm so sorry
No,
for
they know that
this.
look-
I'm sorry in advance.
It was an accident. Okay, I'm just trying to be in
Because think about
character.
it, I feel like if I grip Juliana's neck too hard and I see her flinch, a part of me
wants to hold back.
will be like,
You're not
my
as
Juliana.
you're not as the
I might crack.
I've seen the opposite. Like, you know, one of our friends is a director and his wife is an actor, and I've worked with them together. And I might
know who they're talking about, but go on.
but I'm usually like, I would never act like, I would never like marry an actress and a caster because I know I would not be able to like to
Actually watch.
You know how you just, so even with what you just said now, I want to, because, okay, it's not you, but how you said that situation.
I fully separate
How do you
them.
direct? I'm wondering, as a director now, if you had a girlfriend now that was in the industry, how would you be able to work
not gonna
knowing
happen.
that, for example, men's club, there's a lot of intimate kissing, or like this one, because
And not just that, there are lots of retakes.
me, I say I can, like me,
You're going to retake it.
me personally, I can't date an actress. Me personally, as much as I even do my own
Bro,
content,
celebrity, let's-
I'm a hypocrite because me, if I do it, it's me. I can speak for myself. No, I'm a hypocrite. I'll be honest. If I kiss somebody on camera for a movie, me, I know myself. I can take my emotions out. But you, even though I know you, I don't know
That you
what
can
you're
do-
feeling.
yeah.
That you might go and meet to an actress now on set. They said, I've been a fan of it for so long.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you do the scene now. We don't know what emotion connected. So
Yeah.
how do you actually? That's what I say, to separate it. Like you say, it's easy because you've been doing it for so years, but we're still human beings. Like,
Actually, I think I have the perfect question. Do you know people who have tried it, or people who believe that it can work? Because now with everything we've said,
No, it works.
with summary,
It works.
exactly. Now I want to hear this side. I want to hear this side because now we've given people the impression that work, and relationship, cancel it, right? But we obviously know a few instances, like you said, Christopher Nolan. But again, that's even a foreign setting. They're a lot more open-minded. I like to talk more about the Lagos context, where everybody
definitely.
thinks, wait, they're kissing your husband on the set.
Because we
Are you
talk-
okay with that?
because we just talked about in the last
Definitely.
episode
I
how
think
Lagos is so small that we're a very judgmental society.
Yes,
because
we are.
everybody knows everybody. Everybody's like,
Everybody wants to
Especially
share their opinion.
The West,
yeah.
everybody's more open-minded in their stuff. Not saying they're perfect, but you get what we're saying. So how does it
do
work?
you know people who have actually, now even if they haven't successfully carried out the whole work relationship thing, they keep pushing. Maybe this one has failed. We had a drama on set, and I like this other girl that's an actor.
Definitely. And see, like I said, it's not every relationship that is going to work, And
Yeah.
sometimes you have a relationship with someone not because it's supposed to end in marriage, but because while it lasted, it was beautiful.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
like
so-
experience
so,
the person.
so,
Yeah.
so you cherish those moments. I mean, sometimes it doesn't end well, sometimes it ends horribly, but you cherish those good times that you had. And it's the same thing. It happens in every industry, film, banking, it's life.
I guess have you ever had because relationship we're talking about, for a relationship to mess with my work, it has to be like a serious relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like
Where you actually respect the person's
but like
opinion. and
my
stuff
work
like
is never gonna encounter your life. Do you get me? I can date an actor, but she's never going to. I'm not gonna cast her.
that. Okay.
I'm not gonna be on her set.
That's a very good
Do you get what I mean?
angle.
I'm gonna
So you
separate.
you separate
I'll separate
yourself.
myself from her
That's a
work.
very good angle because
Yeah, I mean-
now that brings me to one other point. So now, we're talking about relationships now, which always sound like, full blown, you must respect the person, I'm jealous, but that's fine. Now let's talk about work flings, right?
Yeah.
Now, work flings, I mean, I will be very honest, I have had
I think
my
that's what that
experiences.
question that person is asking. Is it good to have a work fling?
Yeah, so I think that's where they're heading to. Thank you very much.
What's
Yeah,
the
because-
relationship?
Because
What's
now
the
we keep saying work
relationship?
relationship, which
Yeah.
has boundaries and all that stuff.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
work flings have a very different dynamic in that, first of all,
get into Wahala.
you don't have any.
I'm shaking my head because I don't
Wahala.
fling. You didn't even say
Wahala.
relationship. I can understand. Fling never. There's too many women in.
But that's the thing. So that's the thing now,
But you
right?
get what I mean, Efa?
It's two ways. Think about it in two ways, right? Because from the guy's angle, he'll be looking at it as, okay, if I'm not going to be having a full-blown relationship with her, we do what we do. If we're mature and quiet about it, we move on, right? That is what the guys see. The guys always move with the well, adults, we should be able to. Now the girl on the other hand might enjoy the first fling, and to her she's thinking, okay, so now they have had this fling with me, I want to imagine it's only me. There's nobody else on set is doing this with. Now, again, I don't know who's had, but I want to talk more about the work flings. It could even be that you know someone who has, and you know have the story you can share with us. What do we think about the office flings or the work flings or the transaction flings, if you call it anything else? Do we think that one can work a little better than having a full-blown relationship? Is it worse off? What do you think?
That's tough.
I think I think it's better, just because.
So you think a fling is better than a relationship?
Yes.
I want to hear
Here's why.
opinions.
Because the
so
relationship, there's more emotion and investment involved. Here's why. Especially, let's use Nigeria and Lagos as context. I always do. So it's like in Lagos now, because I realized I also got in trouble with that because I came to Nigeria at first with a very Yankee mentality, especially relationship life. You will hate yourself. That's why I tell people when you're at IJGB, better learn to adapt. Yeah. So you have more peace of mind. But with the fling now, let me start with the relationship. There's more investment in terms of my time, my emotions, and everything.
Thank you.
With you in that relationship. So you actually are getting to know me. With a fling, for me personally, if I was to do a fling, because at this point I'm tired, I don't do it anymore. My
let's just say,
with a fling though, it's like, for me, first off, we have respect for one another, and we know each other. So it's like we're just having a conversation. We're attracted to each other. So whatever happens, but we're being honest. At least that's what I say for me. We're being honest that we're not pursuing anything. So really, if that happens, that's what I say. Like we say it on our podcast, like, if we have a fling and do a thing, go with the dates with another man tomorrow. As long as we communicate and respect each other. So this shouldn't affect my personal life.
And personally,
there's a case if you now like me after, or it's like there's some drama, that's different because you didn't communicate. When we said it's fling, it's fling.
And you also didn't like live up to the agreement we had on
exactly. And that's why the relationship is a bit different because
it's a one time. If it might be more than one time, okay, but in this moment, it's about the enjoyment of the fun of the moment. We're not trying to pursue any kind of commitment in any way. This is where it always gets tricky. But in the definition of what an office fling should be, I will be full agreement with the fact that I think it's easier. So, but, I want to hear. I want to hear what.
So I think on paper, it does seem
easier.
But what we're not talking about is these are people. So most times
emotions will kind of get
emotions will come in, and then most times people on both sides will try to mask stuff. But I feel like flings end up being messier than relationships, because with relationships you know what you're what you expect. There's some form of commitment, so both people are being held accountable on some level. Okay. But with flings, there are no rules, no holds barred. Like it's almost like
don't fling like that, boy.
That needs to go on the shirts. Don't fling like that. Because I feel like flings is like war. Like it's like war. It's like okay.
But is it like war unless you communicate?
Like you don't do something without like this is what we're doing.
Yes.
Clearly defined rules.
A will end up sounding like B.
No, but we're adults now. We're at the age now that men
and women.
No, I agree. But what I've realized,
very differently.
The older I've gotten, the more honest I am with women.
I think women are so honest. Like if you're like, bro, this is it.
They either tell you they don't or they do.
I realize the older you get, right? So the older you get now.
Will they act?
Okay, so let me. So I think what Efa is coming from.
Are you saying that? Yes. No, this way. I think what you guys are talking about is you're trying to fling with someone that likes you. Like both of you, like real.
So maybe.
So would you have a fling with someone that you don't like?
I was about to say.
No. When I mean like likes you, that
wants more.
Like,
they want more.
This is step one to maybe if I catch this guy head low.
So wait, let me ask you a question.
We need to wrap up soon, but hold on. This is actually a very strong
question. One question. Because you guys, especially you guys, we can relate. We came from Yankee. You guys have lived in Lagos your life. One thing I've noticed, especially with Lagos girls, in a good way, is that Lagos girls, if you're honest with them, they'll be honest back with you. The problem is a lot of guys are actually not honest to them. So even when you say the fling is different, it's because a lot of guys will still mask that fling as a relationship compared to. And when I say fling, not in a rude way, that's why I say you're honest and respectful. I'm saying, look, this is where I am in my life, so I can't do a relationship, but this is what I am attracted to. I like you. they actually fuck with that more. It's just that a lot of us don't do it.
But there's a flip side. And the flip side, I think Efa was trying to hammer on that, and even he was pointing that out, is that even when you're with someone who you guys are verbally saying there's no commitment, the babe in her head
but how
has
honest
been
are
eyeing
you?
you.
That's what it comes.
That's the thing. You're being very
I
honest.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I get what you guys
The thing is,
but
the
guys,
thing is,
you don't know what's there behind closed
you have
doors.
to do regular
None of us
check-ins.
know what we're saying behind closed
You have to do
doors.
regular
You know
check-ins.
what?
You have to do regular
I
check-ins.
think both parties, especially in Lagos,
Yeah.
most times, not all the time, most times are to blame. I was having a conversation with someone like a week ago,
Yeah.
and she was talking about guys leading girls on. And I said, what do you mean? Like, he didn't say this. And I said, but did you call at night? I said, yeah, because he's just trying to check up on her. I said, why? Don't do that. And I said, but what if? And I said, but what if he's a nice guy?
Exactly.
What the hell, though?
What? What if he's a nice guy and he knows, like he just genuinely cares? But it's like the girl will then take it as
the fuck?
mixed signals.
Boy.
Like,
So
don't call me-
this
it's-
happens a
it's-
lot.
it's
So I
messed-
agree. But that's what I
That's
said.
the,
But
that's the
then
inability of the person to listen. You know what I mean? That's the inability.
Yes,
that's not
and I
just the
agree.
inability to listen.
That's
'Cause you
stubbornness.
said-
It's stubbornness.
Explain what you mean. Explain what
Things are in
If
plain
you
sight
said that
and you're disagreeing.
this is a fling, and I'm still hugging you. Nigga, he still said it's a
Why
fling
would
though.
you hug a
Bro,
human
because
being?
I'm not here. Bro, what the fuck?
Thank you.
Why would you hug
What's
a
that?
human?
Like, I get what you mean. Like,
So unless I feel
I
like
have to- no, I'm
so I
saying-
feel like both parties have to have a list.
no, it's not have a list. No,
No, but
saying-
see, that's
saying-
the
saying-
one thing I hate. It's like, if we're having a fling, it should be a very simple conversation. Are you ready for a relationship?
That's
no.
it.
Am I ready for it? No. Let's just see what it is. And then the second question you ask, are you sleeping with anybody else? Yes or no? That way you have understanding. It should be that simple. Like, I feel like we overcomplicate it here. Because like we were saying in other episodes, like, we're the kind of guys like, well, let me not speak for me.
Please don't speak for me, please.
I will speak for
I'm a
myself.
virgin,
Like I
thank you
said,
very
for
much.
me, I'm the kind of guy like, Omo, if we have a date today, you go a date with me today. Unless I'm literally saying you're my girlfriend, all that. If I see you with another nigga the next day,
That's
so be it.
That's fine.
Wow.
So be it. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Because in the end, it's free game in terms of not
It's
you
free-
as a human,
it's
even
free
you as a
game.
human.
It's
You
free
have
game.
to date
We have
whoever.
we have no obligations to nobody unless we state so.
Exactly. Anyways, guys, we actually need to wrap up.
right,
So,
we need to
I think,
start.
because if not, we're going to sleep here. So before we do, we need to plug the movie Ileowo. Coming out. Look at you.
This one actually,
Coming out June 24th. Please tell us more. Tell us more. Go
I
ahead.
don't know. Is Darius baby?
Okay,
This
let's
is
go.
actually hilarious because it's kind of like on this relationship stuff.
Mad. All right, go
I
on.
wanted to. I know there's a bunch of like Nigerian movies that have been made about marriage,
Yeah.
and that's what everyone seems to watch. So I
Yeah.
was like, everyone in Nigeria is really obsessed with relationships. Like we came out here, we're talking about.
You know
I'm
why?
like,
Because they
bruh.
like Amebo.
So I was
But
like,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah.
I was
we'll
like,
get
I
to
bet.
that.
Let me make a movie that plays with all like the potpourri of like the shit you
Relationships,
niggas are worried
basically.
about.
Yeah.
So I was like, imagine if you married like, because there's this like I'm on social media a lot, like just trying to see what people's
Okay.
minds
are worried working
and there's
again.
like this, like I guess this new dream of like you just meet the perfect person for you.
Right.
Like you don't have to work. You can be shit. You're
They-
not working on yourself.
they
but
just
you
come
meet the
to you.
perfect person. And
Yeah.
you're like, boom, my life is solved.
Okay.
I was like, imagine if that happened and it was the worst person in the world. So Efa is that perfect.
I've noticed this guy's straight face in movies is very scary. It's like those teachers, like, you see, he's very smiling, happy now, but always say,
This is why it doesn't
Just
want work.
wicked,
That's
just
why it doesn't
wicked.
want work relationship.
just
So
wicked.
that he's
It's like, yo, like my guy, chill now, like
At work, I'm a different.
Exactly.
level.
So let me so babe, I saw you at work, you were burning your face. Don't give me that face in the house. Exactly, yeah. So okay, so anyways, I mean, so it sounds like a great movie. We're looking forward to it.
What
So,
about you? Like,
yeah.
who's your character exactly?
Oh, so the thing is this. I didn't want to even give him too much away
about the actual movie? Yeah, let's
But
yeah.
for me, what is interesting is the background story.
Okay.
So I had seen his work years ago. In fact, no. When I just got into acting, we were on a project together.
Okay.
And I was just new, so I was like, I had some issues. So he gave me this video to go and watch the Anthony Hopkins video. So I really liked. I started studying, and then he put out a movie, Knockout Blessing, that I really liked. Saw it in cinemas, and I'm like, oh, I really want to work with Dare. Then I met Kayode. We worked on a bunch of stuff over the years. We're really good friends. And then, so you have Dare I always wanted to work with. Kayode I've worked with numerous times, and like Guy, we're doing a movie. And we wanted it to be different. We wanted to take a spin on love that hasn't been seen before.
Okay.
And I'm like, sign me up. So when I got on the project, but the fun part was, so we didn't meet before. We didn't meet before we started shooting. No. But we were talking on the phone.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
So I had ideas, and Dare was like, it's cool. It's cool.
Meanwhile, Dare seems like, you know what? Just whatever you're saying in one or the other.
It's cool. It's cool. But no.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I know, we're not doing that. That's too much.
Fair,
but there's just one idea that he approved.
That he actually no wonder you were saying for him to like something.
Yeah,
must really be good.
every day, like, Dare, how about I'm like, listen.
I'm like, thinking, man, like, damn, man, I'm like, yeah. But no.
All right, fair enough. All right, anyway, so that's Iliowo. You guys should look out for it. It's coming out June 24th, right? Yeah, so
all cinemas,
all cinemas,
Netflix,
all
cinemas.
All cinemas.
Okay, all right, cool. So you guys should look out for it. I'm gonna definitely get my tickets. So
I tell people I watch Nollywood when I meet the
actual yes.
No, it's wrong. I'm going to start watching more. But now that I'm seeing, I'm going to watch it. But I want to start watching more because even the way they've described like the context of the movie, it really sounds different. That's a key thing that I feel like a lot of people that are like us that don't watch Nollywood regularly were looking for that different storyline. Yeah. So this is definitely one of those movies. Yeah. So shout out to you guys for tuning in again.
Yeah, thank you guys again, Efa, Dare. This was a great episode.
Great episode.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Like I said, everybody's very relaxed here. Yeah. Make sure you guys subscribe.
Yeah, so you guys should always remember to follow, drop the comments. We always read the comments. You guys should also remember to send us DMs on our Menisms pod page. On Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on TikTok. And so I'll see you guys again.
So hold on, while they're here. So for up and coming brothers like us now, how do we get into a movie? Like,
so by the way, I've always wanted to go into acting. Yeah, I'm going to drop that.
I'll show
now.
my TikToks. I'm ready.
You guys are already doing like half the job.
Half the job, fantastic. I love it. I'm one leg in.
Media, you're putting your
fantastic.
Face out there.
I'm one leg in.
Keep at it like 2 years. People like come and act.
That's
no people. Hold on. People. You're gonna be like, come on, act. Don't say people.
Guys, you will
call me. You will call me.
No, wait. Do you know how I'm gonna get the attention? Don't worry. We'll make it skit.
We'll make it. Don't worry about that.
Even the guy say,
mark our words. You will be the one to call us. Murewa, Michael.
We'll get you in the skit.
Murewa, Michael. We need you guys here. Yes.
You know what? I beg. There's a vision I see.
Yes.
Have I ever done a skit?
You're lying. You've never, as an actor,
Don't do that.
No, I did one skit in, I think maybe 2014.
Random question. So would you random question before we end? I know we're ending time. Would you call skit makers actors?
Yes,
everyone's
fantastic. I love that.
Are they talented?
Because it's another whoa.
I feel like it's a different.
It's a different genre. Like when you act sketch, you're doing the most exaggerated one line. On camera, you're doing subtlety.
Yes.
But you know what you say. But you know what's funny? A lot. But you guys, that's what I'm saying. From what you guys see on the outside, we still have to be. We actually have to still be like actors because you have to visualize that scene, and we still do takes like you guys.
I'm not denying
directing, get a producing.
I'm not denying that. It's filmmaking.
It's filmmaking. Like I said, it's a different genre of film. It's like just like Rowan Atkinson, the guy who plays Mr. Bean.
Yes,
is not like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Any less of an actor.
It's just two different types of actors, two different genres.
Right, all right, man. This was lovely. We have to end now. Thank you guys so much again.
Great episode.
Love this. So we'll see you guys again, hopefully sometime soon. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, then.
One day, could you take a picture? If not, Kaida's gonna kill me.
Owo, there is hope for your sons. Etutu Sagbadewe. I want to live eternal life. Okomi, Salafian, God go with you.
There is a woman here. A woman of a marriageable age.
I'm done.
God has promised to marry you this year.
You saw him today, didn't you?
Who, Baba?
Who?
What do you want? Really? Why are you here?
I just want to help.
Buzola, you have Madeaux, most blood. Owo, take caution. Make sure that the cycle is not broken. If you have ears, hear. Busola, can't you feel it? There is something here with us. I just have a bad feeling.
You have come again with all these your bad feelings.